we start discussed about the batteries and completely what is the actual chemical process in battery, what are all the different terminologies of the battery, what are the characteristics of battery, and what methods of battery, and now latestly available what are the three different kind of battery, that is a flooded type and a gel type and AGM type. So out of these three type, we can able to identify that AGM batteries are better because there is no need of frequent electrolyte filling. And as far as the charging also, whether it is an bulk charging and absorption charging or floating charging, so we can able to follow three different voltage by which efficiently I can able to store the energy. And as far as the state of charge and completely discharged level is concerned, so whereas the flooded type of battery is not much useful because there is a huge variations in the voltage levels of the battery. So, but as far as the gel type and as well as the AGM type, if you see that AGM is showing very slight deviations only compared to the state of charge. Say for example, in a lead acid battery, 12.6 or 12.7 voltage is the state of charge fully charged level, means at 50 percentage it is only showing 12.4, 12.3 only. Maybe at, but as far as the completely discharged battery, all the type of batteries are showing 11.8. So, but if you see the lead acid battery, even for a 50 percentage, it will come to 12.1 to 12.2. So huge falls in the particular voltage level of the flooded battery. So, but still, we are unfortunately many manufacturing companies, electrical vehicle manufacturing companies, they are using a flooded type only. So nowadays, only very few cars they are started use. But as per our view, we are going to use the battery in the view of using them in an electrical vehicle and hybrid electrical vehicle. So for those application concerned, so state of charge of battery is very important. Even if partially discharge level are about to discharge, that is very low level of discharge also, there is a considerable amount of voltage is required. So that's the reason why when we are going for the lead acid battery. So there is, as far as electrical vehicle concern, hybrid electrical vehicle concern, I already told that we have to go for lithium batteries. But still we are using lead acid and nickel cadmium and nickel metal hydride batteries also is there. So because of the cost. So the lithium batteries are very high cost. So whenever we are talking about any e-rickshaws, e-scooters and all, so for those applications, still lead acid batteries are used. But we have to select a battery type is EAGM. So because it is having a very good specific gravity and as well as the voltage level is maintained throughout the discharge. So slight deviation only, but whereas a huge deviations in case of a flooded type battery. Okay, so and so then we yesterday we saw the ultra capacitor. Okay, how a capacitor can be store energy. So how it can play an important role between a capacitor and battery. So ultra capacitors, what is that and how it is playing an important role in that we can able to see that. Are you able to see? Are you able to see the screen?
No, sir. Yeah, no.
Okay. So, as far as I already told that energy storage system is a three different kind. One is using a battery, so that is occupying the 95 percentage of the energy storage system because of its simplicity, because of its life period, and because of the sustained energy. So if you compare the uh, battery with this type of supercapacitor and ultra capacitors, the battery is capable of giving very less energy density only, but it can sustain for very long time. So whatever the energy density, it can be remain same when it's discharging for a long time. But as far as the supercapacitor or ultra capacitors are concerned, they are having a very high energy density, but very short duration only. So I cannot be able to use it for very long period. So automatically, this makes the particular supercapacitor and ultra capacitors as standby. Okay, so standby, suppose any emergency, or we can able to say that it's substantiate. So in addition to the existing, in addition to the main energy sources, whenever the main energy source batteries state of charges fall below that particular level, because of that it is not able to provide a required energy density. At that time, the supercapacitors or ultra capacitors can give, it can boost the energy that is required from the energy storage system. Say, for example, I'm moving a vehicle movement, okay, very long time. Because of that, my state of charge of battery is about 40 percentage or between 30 to 50 percentage means at this time, if still it has to continue means a huge amount of, because every time the depth of discharge in the particular cycle, every cycle it is drawing more amount of energy because it need to produce very high torque at a particular speed. So in order to run the motor at always at a high torque, so it need a very high amount of current. So that need very high amount of energy density. So what will happen is, so after it falls below 50 percentage to up to 30 percentage, very drastically my state of charge will be decreased. Drastically state of charge, because if you see, for example, with the lead acid battery, I'm saying, so automatically we are going to use the diluted sulfuric acid only as electrolyte. That means 35 percentage sulfuric acid only will be there, remaining 50 percentage will be more water. So when it is charging, the proportion, that is a ratio, percentage of water will be increased. Percentage of water will be increased. So that will reduce, it will little more diluted. At that time, the energy density or the electron density, energy densities in terms of how much can pump current, okay, from the battery. So will be very, very drastically decreased. So if you are using that battery or load, it will be very drastically from how much time it taken for from 100 to 50. Okay, so the same time will be taken for 50 to 30. That means it will be very draining the battery very, very quickly. At that time, it is very much advisable to use in between this type of capacitor, because whenever a huge amount of energy needed, at that time we can able to tap or we can able to use the energy stored in the supercapacitors, okay, and ultra capacitors. So these are all the that is we can able to supplement. We can able to supplement the main required thing when the energy storage fall below certain value. Of course, fuel cell also is doing. So as far as the fuel cell is concerned, we can able to see we need a hydrogen. We need a hydrogen to have that. So in order to, if you have 99.99 percentage of pure hydrogen, so then only I can able to get this type of electron. So automatically what will happen, okay, what will happen is whenever I'm having a proper electrolyte electrodes means automatically that will facilitates, so splitting hydrogen, hydrogen ions will be, two hydrogen ions will be there, so automatically two electrons will be there, so likewise hydrogen will be, it makes both two positive ions and two electrons. So that facilitates the conduction. But as I already told, so having such a pure hydrogen is a problem. So the better alternate for supplement is we have to immediately. So immediate alternate or better alternate. If you compare the fuel cell with the supercapacitor, ultra capacitor is, we can say that supercapacitor, ultra capacitor. So I can use capacitors also. What is the difference between supercapacitor and capacitors is, so higher capacitor, high value of capacitance is there. So because of the high value of capacitance, can store, it can able to store high energy density. But as far as the discharge is concerned, it is very quick, very fast discharging is possible. I can able to completely take the from the capacitor within few seconds or within few minutes. So that's the why we are preferring and ultra capacitors as a supplement, that is additional energy storage system. Okay, but we cannot completely run any vehicle for a very long duration with the super capacitor, ultra capacitors alone. So in that case, the capacitor size and huge will be there. Okay, so we'll see. So these are what is super capacitor and how for capacitor. type of application is it suited for, typical materials used, we are going to see. As I already mentioned, supercapacitor is having very, very high capacitance. Because of that, it can able to store high energy density at lower voltage. So it is having a high cycle life. So high cycle life means more number of times I can able to charge and discharge. Cycle life. So number of times, in terms of number of times, more it is having. Charge and discharge is very, very faster than batteries. So if a battery is completely charged, even though at a required voltage, it can be discharged very long time. So because the energy density or the depth of the discharge during the depth or how much it can pump, but it get very high amount of energy. That means in terms of high amount of current electrons. Okay, that is possible. It bridges the gap between capacitor and rechargeable battery. So that's what I told. It can act in between. It can act in between capacitor and batteries. Okay, so that is the thing. And mainly when the regenerative braking, as I already told, during the regenerative braking, it will be happening a fraction of second only. Because suddenly I want to decelerate, that means I press the brake shoes immediately. Immediately, the energy drawing from the battery will be stopped. Okay, so my converter will be acting as a inverter. Then automatically due to the moment of inertia of the vehicle, so now my motor, which is producing the power proportion, will be acting as a generator. So automatically reversible. So but these are all will be happening for a fraction of second only. So we already know around 0.16 kilowatt hour, that is 0.16 unit can be taken. So a huge amount of energy, fraction of second, around 0.16 kilowatt hour, around 160 watt hour. Okay, 160 watt hour is available. So that can be stored in these type of capacitors. So from this, uh, we can able to transfer it to batteries. Okay, slowly we can able to discharge the particular energy and we can able to store it in battery. That's the way it's a supercapacitor is there, because already we know that battery can be than the supercapacitor, charge very fast, very much faster than battery. So that is that performance, that preferred characteristics is there. So that is the reason why we are using supercapacitors. Okay, and of course for loading and unloading activities. So when we are going for loading, that is a huge amount of current the need. Okay, so at that time also it can be discharged energy, whatever the energy that required. In addition to the battery energy, it is can quickly discharge the particular one. And start stop of electrical vehicle. So during the starting, in order to overcome the dead weight of the vehicle and moment of inertia, we need very high starting current. So automatically huge amount of energy that need from the battery. So depth of discharge will be more than the normal running. So in that time, it can substantiate that it can able to support the main energy storage system batteries. So that's a supercapacitor plays a role in electrical vehicle applications. So if you see what is supercapacitor, in supercapacitor and capacitor, same energy, only electrical energy only stored, but in supercapacitor it uses ions, but whereas capacitor uses only electrons. Battery, of course, it is storing the energy in terms of chemical energy only. From chemical energy only, electrical energy we are going, or when we are charging the battery, energy is converted from electrical energy to chemical energy. So that uses only ions. Okay, so very easily, because this battery and supercapacitor is having uses ions. So I can able to make it as a intermediate between capacitor and super battery. So a huge energy can be immediately stored and huge energy can be immediately discharged. That is faster charging and discharging is possible. So this will be helping when the regenerative braking, the loading and unloading, start and stop of electrical vehicle applications. Capacitors, electric, but separator material will be very thin. As far as this electrode materials, okay, they are all very bigger. Okay. So this is the reason why I can able to store huge amount of energy. So as I already told, if you see a specific power and specific energy, so specific energy in the watt per kilogram into 10 power 6, and if you see the specific energy watt hour, batteries are not okay. Batteries are not capable of having more amount of specific power. So it is having a specific energy. Whatever per kilogram is more, but as far as specific power is concerned, it is how much it can able to, how quickly it can able to uh, charge and discharge with this power per kilogram. So in this case, my supercapacitors plays a very good role. It is having a very good specific energy and also it having specific power capacity also. Capacitors are not having high specific energy, but whereas batteries are not having high specific power. So in between supercapacitors having considerable amount of specific power and specific energy. That is the reason why we are using supercapacitors in between battery and capacitors. Okay. So as I told, supercapacitors can able to charge and seconds to minutes. Batteries can work to charge and discharge. It take hours. But if you see capacitors, they are having a very specific but specific energy very less. Okay, it can charge with from millisecond to microsecond. The moment you connect, it will be charged fully charged. The moment if you are connected to load or if you connected to any parallel thing where you need to be charged, it will be discharged very quickly. Okay, so because of this, okay, matching characteristics only, the supercapacitors are placed in between the battery and capacitors. So this is about between the specific power and specific energy. So as far as that another so charge and discharge duration cycle how much cycle life, how many time I can able to charge and discharge this. Maybe a battery is having in thousands, so maybe 4,000 hours, 2,000 hours like that. It may be having cycle life. But if you see supercapacitors and capacitors, if you have properly with the proper voltage, okay, if you are charging and discharging, we can able to use it is having a lifetime of nearly million hours. So whereas a capacitor is infinite, only when the charging voltage is exceeding a rate at which charge is exceeding, so then only the problem will occur. So otherwise, the lifetime, the cycle life is very, very high as far as the capacitors are concerned. So this is the reason why, even though we may be need to replace the batteries once in a 4 years, 5 years, or 7 years if you are properly maintaining, but whereas the supercapacitor and capacitors can be remain same, we need not to go for any replacement. So, but we cannot completely depend on those things because it is only substantiate. It is only a supplementary thing that it can be provided to in batteries. And as far as the material used is concerned, so we are using electrode, that is activated carbon, graphene, carbon nanotubes. Okay, what is an activated carbon? Is a natural carbon and polymers heat treated in inert atmosphere. Okay, inert gas atmosphere. So graphene can restack. Okay, and carbon nanotube is a cylindrical surface is used. These are all the things. I think you don't need. Okay, unless otherwise, if we are material science people, you don't need. As far as this one, supercapacitor concerned, where we are placing. Uh, what is the charge and discharge duration? What is the cycle life? This graph is enough. So as far as the electrolyte is concerned, okay, aqueous electrolyte, that is voltage is restricted to 1.23 voltage only. And another one electrolyte, organic electrolytes. So it is propylene carbonate having a very, very lower conductivity. So because of that, it's able to avoid and it is organic salts with no solvent and melting point below 100 degrees Celsius. So only you should know the electrolytes. Okay, aqueous electrolyte, organic and ionic liquids is enough. So as a conclusion, we can say that supercapacitors bridges the gap between capacitor and batteries. it having a very high surface area carbon materials used in electrodes, aqueous and organic as well as ionic liquids considered as electrolytes. So these are all the conclusion we can make. So in what way that is different between a capacitor is high capacitors, high energy density can be stored. Okay, comparatively high energy density can be stored and it can charge and discharge very quickly than battery, faster than battery from seconds to minutes. Okay, but whereas capacitor can charge and discharge millisecond to microsecond. That's all. Within that time, it will be able that much is a very, very important thing. So that's the reason why, in order to substantiate from capacitor, they are charging immediately will be capacitor. That vehicle is running, we can able to use in charge, we able to charge discharging also it can happen. The battery discharge when there is a need of high density, the required amount of energy density can be parallelly we can able to get it from the super capacitor, not a for the we can able to do that. We cannot able
So your voice is breaking down.
when it is disconnected, I think I'm not able to get any reply. Hello? Hello, are you all able to hear my voice?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So is it disconnected in between?
Yes, sir.
Okay. From beginning itself or now only?
No, no, sir. Around 30 seconds.
Okay, any clarification on this supercapacitors or ultra capacitors? There is no any clarification, we can move to fuel cell. Fuel cell. Okay. As I already told, fuel cell. Okay, fuel cell. So a main concept of fuel cell is the same way we are using the also membranes, electrodes, and all, but we are providing the required amount of automatically. In addition to the electrolyte, there will be a catalyst will be used. That catalyst will play a main role in splitting the hydrogen to your two ions. That is such voice breaking. Now it's okay. Is it okay? Is it okay now? Hello. Hello. Is it okay now?
Now, okay. I look like.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so in fuel cells, mainly it is similar to that of battery only, but here apart from the electrolyte and electrodes, we are using a catalyst also. So that catalyst will helping the particular hydrogen to split into two ions. So whenever hydrogen is split into two ions, So automatically we will get two free electrons. That electrons will be making a required amount of current. So because of that, we need a pure hydrogen. So that hydrogen has to be keep to the fuel. Then only I can able to make it as a cell. Okay, so if we are properly this technology is addressed, okay, it is going to be a very, very silent generator and it is capable of producing very high amount of energy. But unfortunately, still we can't able to get very, very safe method of using a fuel cell. So otherwise, there won't be any good generator, power generator like this. It will be very, very silent. So once you have provided, keep on providing the required amount of hydrogen, okay, pure hydrogen. So it will keep on producing a very high amount of electricity. Okay. So as a result of that, okay, so some water will be formation of water and all the only will be there. There is no any harmful to that. So, but getting pure, there is no any pure hydrogen is available. Once again, we have to depend on the electricity only in order to separate. Suppose if you allow pass a current, okay, supply to your water. So, okay, so automatically there is a two-way hydrogen and oxygen will be separated. So I am applying electricity. So I am after wasting, after spending, not wasting, after spending the electricity only, I can able to get the hydrogen and oxygen. That hydrogen. So automatically it is a kind of battery only. Fuel cell, it is kind of battery only. We have done some work because of that pure hydrogen is there. Using that hydrogen, once again we can able to get an electric power. So it's a kind of battery, stored energy only. That is the reason why it is energy storage system we are considering the fuel cells. Okay. As already told, okay, the score of non-utility companies are well advanced. So they are towards developing a powerful chemical cell, fuel cell. Okay, so actually it's advanced version of battery. Okay, battery. So battery we are only using electrolyte and as well as electrodes. Here we are using a catalyst also, which could sit in some hidden closest of every home silently ticking off electrical power. Okay, so that is the thing, the promise of fuel cell. Okay, so definitely in a lot of researches are going on. Okay, now we are able to see now in some of the manufacturers of electrical vehicle, they are trying as a prototype model, they are tried with the fuel cell also. Okay, so how fuel cell works is, as I already told, here we are having anode, cathode, apart from that, a catalyst. Catalyst will be there, and proton exchange membrane will be there. Proton exchange membrane will be there. So if you see, so these are all the parts. Anode. Anode is the negative post of the fuel cell. It conducts the electrons that are freed from the hydrogen molecules. As I already told, hydrogen will be splitted into two ions, H plus plus. Then automatically I will have a two electrons. So it conducts the freed electron from hydrogen molecule so that they can be used in external circuits. So these electrons can be used in external circuits. So because flow of electrons is nothing but current. Okay. So etched channels disperse hydrogen gas over the surface of the catalyst. So these type of etched channels disperse hydrogen gas. Okay, so with the surface of catalyst in turn they are splitting the electron. Okay, that is splitting the hydrogen as a ions, two ions. And cathode is a positive post of the fuel cell. That is etched channel distribute oxygen to the surface of catalyst. It conducts electrons back from the external circuit to catalyst. So automatically, once the closed circuit only, the current can flow. So it is conducts the electron back from the external circuit to the catalyst and recombine with the hydrogen ions and oxygen to form a water. As a result of fuel cell usage, we'll get water only. Okay, so there is no any harmful waste and all things will be there. Okay, so using a catalyst, okay, we are able to split the hydrogen as a two ions, two electrons will be getting. So likewise, all the things, all the hydrogen will be splitted as a two ions. Then we will get two electrons that will be allowed to pass through the circuit. That is nothing but current flow. After that, after current is getting from the load, uh, we are using a cathode. Okay, that is it conducts the electron back from the external circuit to catalyst. That will recombine. Okay, recombine the hydrogen and oxygen to form water. So here the electron, the protonic membrane membrane electron, so it will not allow the electrons to cross. So it will only allows the positive charge ions. So by that I can able to ensure that flow of electrons is there. So catalyst, so special material that facilitates the reaction of hydrogen and oxygen. So earlier when it's anode, it comes, it has to split the hydrogen. Whenever it is a cathode, it comes, it's recombined. And recombine, it conducts the electron and it make water. As a result of the recombination with the hydrogen and oxygen, it makes water. And special material that facilitates the reaction of oxygen and hydrogen. Usually, a platinum powder only will be acting as a very thinly coated on carbon paper or cloth is active. So, platinum powder very thinly coated onto a carbon paper that only is acting as a catalyst. And rough and porous maximize the surface area exposed to hydrogen or oxygen. Whenever particular hydrogen hits that particular, so moves that particular porous and rough surface, that will be splitted into two hydrogen ions. Okay. The platinum coated side of the catalyst faces the PEM. So fuel cell, how it is working, fuel cell. So I have to make, first of all, I should make complete hydrogen gas. Okay, so in a storage tank with some pressure, I should pressurize the hydrogen gas should be I'm having. From the pressurized hydrogen gas chamber, okay, so enters in the cell anode side, it has to enter. We have to pass the particular hydrogen gas to a anode side. So automatically, when the gas is forced through a catalyst, okay, so what is the catalyst we are using? We are using a platinum powder coated carbon paper. Okay, so when it is forced through the platinum powder coated catalyst, so H2 molecule comes in contact with that particular catalyst. It splits into two hydrogen ions, H plus plus ions. So whenever particular thing it lost the electron, that last two electrons are available for conduction. Okay, so free electrons are available. Okay, each molecule. So I'm having a capable of splitting that as a two ion. So automatically two electrons are available. So these electrons are conducted through the anode. Okay, conducted through the anode to external circuit. So automatically that will go and come back. Okay, the membrane will be preventing the particular electrons. Okay, to move cross the line, cross the separator line. On the oxygen gas, on the cathode attracts two, already two H plus plus ions are there. That will be attract these ions through the membrane. A combination that combining with the oxygen atom and two electrons from the external circuit to form water. Finally, after it comes, okay, so two H plus plus ion, okay, that will be attract the negatively charged, okay, that will make a water. So as a result of that, H2 will be there. So here, the only thing is to the particular battery-like arrangement where two electrodes and electrolytes, I have to keep on pass the gas, hydrogen gas with some pressure. Okay, so that has to first has to hit or first has to be forced through catalyst. Then only the electrons will be formed. So a diagram also is shown here. Yeah, proton exchange membrane shell okay, how hydrogen fuel in is coming. Okay, you can able to see fuel in. Okay, excess fuel H2 that goes. So that H2, okay, that H2 goes. It is hit the anode. It is touch the anode. So there it is separated as a H plus plus. Whenever a H2 molecule, hydrogen molecule is hit there, I can able to get two different ions H plus plus. As a result of that, two electrons also I am getting. So once it's passed through the electrical current circuit, that electrons are available. Okay, that is negatively charged. So whenever that I am having a two ions that make okay possible to make the combination, as a result of that water is produced. I have to take the water out. So it is similar to that of battery, but I have to keep on pass the pure hydrogen with some pressurized manner, and I also as a result of that byproduct is here water. I have to take the water also out. So if this is process, that is a called proton exchange membrane shell fuel cell. Okay, so pure hydrogen that has to be passed. Okay, so I'm using anode. Okay, that is using that is making the particular hydrogen molecules to two ions, H plus ion, two electrons. These two available free electrons allowed to pass through electrical circuit. Once the electrical circuit is closed, again make combination, making it as a H2O. Because earlier, so this oxygen, okay, water going out now, air in and water going from that only it is taking the particular oxygen. Okay, so this is how our fuel cell is working. What is the problem still now is, as I already told you, it is a very good silent generator capable of producing a very high amount of energy. But why it is not very popular, especially for electrical vehicle and hybrid electrical vehicle application, is we need a 99.999 percentage of pure hydrogen. So actually, naturally, hydrogen is not available naturally. So it is in the form of water and so many things only. So we have to apply electricity. After applying the electricity only, I can separate them as a hydrogen. And keeping the hydrogen also very, very dangerous one. So it is very vulnerable and very easily it will be very react to others. Okay, so that is the thing, and that is the thing only. It is uh, not completed or not comply with all the safety measures. So many countries they are not accepting. Some of the Japan companies and Chinese they are all produce fuel cell vehicle, but it's not coming to the market full fledged. Means still it is not convinced all the safety measures, because once it is leaked means automatically there is a possibility of it is very much able to react to the oxygen, so it will form water. Okay, so a huge amount of energy will be released. If you have properly arranged a proton exchange membrane cell inside the cell, it is very working very well. But having a hydrogen tank with some pressure, it is not that much thing. It is not that much very easy one. We need to have for even for storage of the particular one, we need to spend a lot of amount. Okay, that is the reason why it is not. But as I already told you, it can able to supplement. So the main energy storage system, 95% of the energy storage system using a battery. Some 2-3 using ultra super capacitor supplement fuels. Okay, but fuel cell it can act as 95% of storage system provided if a proper safety measures and safety precautions things are implemented. Fuel cell is a very good power producing unit, silent generator. Okay, as a result of that, unless other energy storage system here, byproduct as a result of that, water only is produced. Pure water only is produced. So it is if it is full-fledgedly implemented, we can able to get all things. So how the particular thing is work, I already that told. Okay, so it is similar to that of battery only. We are having anode and cathode. So similar to that of electrolyte. Here, one membrane is the proton exchange membrane that only will allow ions. It will not allow the electrons to cross. So if this arrangement it will not work, there is a need of catalyst. With that catalyst only, I can able to separate the particular hydrogen as a two hydrogen molecule as a two ions. So compared to the other energy storage systems, okay, so 40 percentage efficiency. Suppose if I am having a methanol, okay, methanol is there. If from the methanol, if I want to get an hydrogen, 40 efficiency is there converting that. From 50% of hydrogen, energy content can be converted to electrical. 80% of efficiency of inverter model.
Sir,
And mechanical. So from I would because as a result of the byproduct further 80%
Okay.